Welcome to Royal Divine. Meghan Markle pauses Archetypes podcast on Spotify in mark of respect. Before we proceed, I inspire you to subscribe. Who is Meghan Markle's father? Thomas Markle Sr. Before we proceed, I inspire you to subscribe. Meghan Markle has decided no longer to launch any new episodes of her Spotify podcast, Archetypes, as a signal of appreciation. Following Queen Elizabeth II's death, Buckingham Palace announced at 6:30 p.m. Ultimate Thursday that the Queen had died at the age of 96. Her Majesty had been spending the summertime at her Scottish domestic in Balmoral when she died, surrounded via her eldest children, the newly appointed King Charles III and Princess Anne. Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, used to be coincidentally in the UK with husband Prince Harry for authentic engagements. When the information broke of the monarch's death, the couple have remained in the UK to assist the relaxation of the royal household in advance of the Queen's funeral on September 19. However, the Duke and Duchess have put their scheduled work commitments on maintain for the time being. A carrier of Thanksgiving for the Queen is taking location at St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. Markle launched her manufacturer new podcast sequence on streaming massive Spotify in August and has featured interviews with Mariah Carey, Serena Williams and Mindy Kaling so far. However, it has been proven that the podcast is on maintain with a message studying on the series' Spotify page. New episodes of Archetypes will be paused at some stage in the reputable morning length for Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. Members of the royal family, royal household body of workers and representatives of the royal household on reliable duties will have a look at a length of royal mourning till 7 days after the Queen's funeral subsequent Monday. National mourning continues till the stop of the day of the Queen's funeral. Queen Elizabeth II will be laid to relaxation in London on September 19 at 11 a.m. Picture, Getty. Markle, 41, has launched 3 episodes of Archetypes for the reason that August 23. With conversations such as the double requirements female face when they are labeled ambitious, racial identification and existence as a single female, and the stigma around it. In 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex signed a beneficial deal with Spotify to host and produce podcasts, really worth an estimated £25 million, £18 million. It is anticipated Markle will accompany Harry, 38, to the Queen's funeral, even though their youngster's son Archie, 3, and 1-year-old daughter Lilibet, named after Her Majesty, are presently in California, the place the household live. The Queen's coffin has begun its remaining trip down to London, leaving Balmoral Castle on Sunday morning, earlier than arriving at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh, the place it will stay for 2 days. King Charles III is now flown up to Scotland to preserve a vigil through the coffin on Monday evening, earlier than Princess Anne accompanies her late mom on the flight to London. In another news, royal author claims Meghan Markle pausing the Spotify podcast is more of PR exercise. After a disastrous month owing to the unhappy death of the Queen, matters have subsequently started out to come to normalcy. Speaking of which, everyone's interest has once switched to Meghan Markle from Her Majesty, the Duchess of Sussex, as soon as once more finds herself at the core of criticism. The former working royal has labored with her sweat and tears to attain the admire that she deserves. However, it appears even after refuting the accusations, a suspicion then again lingers. Although Markle took her best stance for gender equality, it was once adequate in accordance to royal experts. Royal writer and biographer Daniela Elser has issued insights on a massive listing that factors out Meghan's faults. In an information piece for the New Zealand Herald, she issued a disclaimer that read, Meghan Markle's largest mistake comes into focus. According to her, Meghan allegedly lacks contribution to the battle for gender equality. She mainly centered her Spotify podcast, claiming the current preserve on her episodes, since the Queen's dying was once greater of a PR exercise. Her factor of criticism was once the absence of any steps or moves taken in the direction of what had been promised. Speaking up is notable, however the place is the follow-through she asked. According to her phrases and preachings, Meghan ought to have been the front lady feminist of the country. She claims that the Duchess has the passion, brains, connections, and the media information to honestly do the kind of work that can pass the dial. Thanks for watching.